Okay, I am about to change your definition of love as you know it. Are you ready? If someone were to ask you what love is made of, what would you say? Like, what is the substance that leads you to the feeling of love for someone? And this is not a rhetorical question. Like, I actually want you to pause the video and think about it for a second. So when God asked me this question, my answer was, I guess, the bonds you create with people. Like, you create a bond with someone, and then that leads you to loving them. It turns out that I was only half right, because something has to create the bonds that lead to the feeling of love. And God told me the thing that creates those bonds is sacrifice. So if you think about like soldiers who go to war together, they may not be able to stand each other when they first meet. Like, they may have completely opposite personalities and just can't stand each other's guts. But because they are in a situation that requires them to sacrifice themselves for their fellow man, if necessary, they create these bonds that lead them to love each other for the rest of their lives. Okay, but here's where it gets cool. What is sacrifice? How do you define sacrifice? Because if you had asked me how to define sacrifice, I would have said that it is depleting your resources for the benefit of another person. So like, if I have a certain amount of money, but I give some of that money up for you and I deplete that resource, that's a sacrifice that I've made for you. Or if you only have a certain amount of time in the day and you choose to spend that time with another person, that's a sacrifice that you've made for them, right? But on the other hand, if you had someone who is just incredibly wealthy, like Bill Gates, if Bill Gates were to hand you $100, I wouldn't see that as a sacrifice because he's not depleting his resources at all. $100 may mean a lot to you, but that means nothing to him. He's got plenty of it. And this was where God rocked my world. He said, Caitlin, you don't really understand my love for you because you think that I'm not really sacrificing for you. He said, you think by me having unlimited time, unlimited resources, that I'm not depleting those resources, so therefore I'm not sacrificing for you. He said, we need to tweak your definition of sacrifice, because sacrifice doesn't just mean someone depleting their resources for you. Sacrifice means that that person values you more than the thing that they're giving you. So if they're giving you their time, that means they value you more than their time. If they're giving you their money, that means they value you more than their money. And he was saying, you don't fully understand my love for you because you think that I'm not depleting my resources. But what you don't understand is that I created those resources just so that I could give them to you. I created money, healing, time, life itself, just so that I could give it to you. Now, if that doesn't radically change your perspective of love, I don't know what will. He loves us so much, y'all.